about this fight?
I really haven't been paying attention to it enough. Like, Danny Ige, Boomerang. Danny Ige is.
I just think Korean Zombie's a name.
It's a good comparative style. I think we're going to see if it doesn't get finished, 5-round fight where it's just standing the whole time.
Yeah.
Danny Ige has some wrestling background, but I believe in his last couple fights he hasn't gone for too many takedowns. And Chan Sung Jung is definitely a fighter who likes to stand.
Yeah. I think Korean Zombie, he's been in the MMA for how long? Almost 10 years?
Something like that, honestly. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
He was in he was a featherweight champ, or he was contender for the featherweight champ when Aldo was the champ.
Wow.
You can check the stats right now. His first fight in the UFC was in 2011, so yeah, 10 years.
Well, 10 years.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats. Not a lot of people can stay in the UFC for 10 years.
His last fight was when Brian Ortega absolutely killed him.
Yeah.
But before that, he beat Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar's ranked high right now. I think he's 5th right now in UFC rankings for bantamweight because he went down a division. So, Chan Sung Jung definitely looking to come back. I mean, his last fight was against one of the best featherweights in the world, and now he's fighting Danny Ige, who's up there, but definitely doesn't have the names beaten.
Yeah.
He's won, 7 of his last 8 fights, and his biggest fight was against Calvin Kattar, and he lost kind of decisively, unanimous decision, 5 rounds. So
against the contender, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Danny Ige, so he is going to be turning 30. Chan Sung Jung, I believe, is 34. 1 inch reach advantage. 1 inch reach advantage for Ige, or Jung, excuse me.
Well, yeah, I like Danny Ige. I think his wrestling is going to play a big part.
If he decides to take it down, if that's his game plan, I think it works.
Korean Zombie, he kind of has problems. I think off his back foot.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he applies the pressure, he's going to be getting takedowns with his off balance, and also he could catch him. So
right now,
Danny Ige does have power.
Chan Sung Jung, 4th ranked featherweight contender. Danny Ige, 9th ranked. Chan Sung Jung does have the only ever recorded twister submission in the UFC. You ever seen that?
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I've seen that highlight. I didn't know
that was against Leandro Garcia, I want to say.
He also has that weird
Garcia.
ending. Remember that weird ending with 1 second to go? Yair Rodriguez.
Ooh. Oh, that was that fight?
That was him.
Yeah, that was when he had the up elbow.
Yeah, he lost that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my
That's
God.
right.
That was a crazy fight. 126, 119.
Yeah, Chan Sung Jung might have won that fight if he didn't get knocked out in the last second.
Yeah.
All right, so Boomer Live, MMA Complete, episode 51. It is June 17th today. We are 5 days removed from UFC 263, which we'll be loving to talk about because it was a good card, no matter how much money we lost.
That don't matter. It was a great card. It was Nate Diaz. Oh, we're going to talk about it.
Definitely. We got a lot to talk about. There was a lot of good fights, a lot of decisions, but a lot of good fights that were surprising. Like the Drew Dober Brad Riddell fight was a great fight.
Yeah.
We saw
What fight of the night?
Who was the guy that had a 6-second knockout and then fucking
chunked off and hit his knee?
He did tear his ACL.
He tore his ACL?
Terrence McKinney won in 7 seconds against Matt Frivola by a knockout.
Wow.
Chase Hooper lost to Steve Peterson by a decision.
Yeah. Oh, man, Paul Craig. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lauren Murphy won a very controversial decision.
Controversial win. Yeah, he had Lauren Murphy winning.
But... It was a tight fight. Murphy won the 3rd round, but we gave Calderwood's round 1 and 2, and I believe it was a split decision win that 2 judges gave them either 1 or 2. So it happens.
Lauren Murphy, future contender, you think?
Yeah, definitely, and I think she's going to be getting a title shot closer to not, because I believe she's 2nd ranked now, because she was 3rd ranked going into that fight.
Lauren Murphy, I like you.
Lauren
Murphy, do ever
hear
this, maybe we blow up later in life or whatever, but I would bet the whole state of Rhode Island the whole state, all $1 billion probably or whatever it is. Nothing
I think
big.
Rhode Island's worth $1 billion.
Yeah, no, it's probably worth more than that. But I'm just
You think?
more, because more.
Got a lot of debt.
So I would bet everything that she loses. I would bet everything.
It's a tough road ahead of her because she's in the women's flyweight division right now.
Yeah.
Andrade is fighting Valentina Shevchenko next. Or she just fight Shevchenko.
Shevchenko.
She did just fight. So I think Chukagian, Andrade are both above Murphy right now for the flyweight in that order, and then Lauren Murphy. So Murphy might actually get a title shot because Andrade and Chukagian have both lost to Shevchenko, I believe.
Weili Zhang should go down to flyweight. That would be.
Nah, I
to
think.
fight Shevchenko. That would be.
Well, she would
sick.
go up to flyweight.
Up to flyweight.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
but I think Weili Zhang wants to fight Namajunas for a rematch.
Oh, 100%. That would be.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a sick rematch.
Other news in ranked fighters.
Moving up and moving down.
Brad Riddell got pushed into 13th for the lightweight division after his split decision victory over Drew Dober in the fight of the night at UFC 263. Drew Dober getting pushed out of that top 15 rankings.
Yeah.
Bilal Muhammad
He
got
will be
pushed
back,
up
though.
the ladder. Bilal Muhammad defeated Damian Maia by unanimous
Went up 3,
decision.
huh? Wow.
Mhm. He went up to 9. Paul Craig got pushed up to 12.
Damian Maia's last fight too.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything if he retired.
Dana White says that was his last fight.
Yeah.
So
At least in the UFC then.
Yeah.
Brandon Moreno is now in the top 15 pound for pound as he's now the flyweight champion of the world after beating Davis Figueiredo by rear naked choke.
In the second round.
Third round.
Third round.
Yeah, Brandon Moreno.
Under, huh? Under in that fight. Wow.
Brandon Moreno.
Shocked a lot of people in first Mexican
Born
champion.
UFC champion. Yep.
So, and it was in Arizona. A lot of fans over there. A lot of fans.
People
They
were
rooting
hyped
for him.
up for Brandon Moreno.
Yeah.
He came in super fucking hyped. You guys weren't in the room
He
when he
was
made his walk out,
was
but
a heavy
he was
underdog, dude.
jacked. Yeah, he
Heavy
was. He was
underdog.
plus 200.
Figueiredo is gonna have to move up in the division, man. Like I don't see him.
I think
cannot cut that
I
weight.
think that weight cut bothered him.
He cannot cut that weight.
If Figueiredo were to make a move to bantamweight, I am of the opinion that bantamweight is one of the maybe not best, but most intriguing divisions right now.
Lightweight's the best.
Lightweight is, yeah. And you have welterweight's always up there, and heavyweight's been getting some credence, but middleweight's always good too. But bantamweight has a lot of contenders, and there's so many different places you can go in that division that it's probably one of the most intriguing. If Figueiredo were to make the move, it would make it even better. But yeah, we're going to be going over UFC 263 and everything that happened last weekend. Before we do that, we're going to run a quick ad. Thank everybody for tuning in to MMA Complete Podcast, episode 51. Make sure you check out Naked Sports on YouTube. That's Naked Sports, no space. Check out Fans Only Sports on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And go to nakedsports.com, where at the moment we are advertising the Yard Olympic event, first annual Yard Olympic event presented by Naked Sports. For more information on the Yard Olympics, which will be taking place July 10th in Warwick, Rhode Island, go to nakedsports.com. It's going to be a great day. Sign up with your friends, and you're going to be able to play a lot of different sports and go out in the field and do all that stuff.
Is there any main prizes and stuff?
Yeah, there's cash prizes. There's gift card prizes by our many sponsors that we're doing. We have sponsors like Gatorade, Quest Bar. We have the National Guard sponsoring it. We have a bunch of different things.
National Guard, huh?
So go check out nakedsports.com for more information on that. We'll be right back. All right, so we are back. UFC 263 was last weekend, and we've already talked about it a little bit, but we're going to go over all the big fights right now. To start off the main card, we saw Jamal Hill versus Paul Craig in a fight that had a good amount of bad blood in it. These guys came in not liking each other. They got into a little scuffle at the press conference, and then once the fight started, you could see the animosity between them. However, the fight did not last long enough to show the animosity because within a minute and a half, Paul Craig let Jamal Hill take him down, and then as soon as it got to the ground, Paul Craig trapped an arm and then ended up breaking the collarbone of Jamal Hill.
No break. No break.
Well
Dislocated. There was no break. He was out partying with Paul Craig in the club after. Tweeted it. Insane. Funny. They love each other.
He fucked up his arm so badly.
Yeah. Just dislocated, though. No breaks.
It was a quick fight, minute and a half, and it was labeled as a TKO. It wasn't even a submission.
Yeah,
Jamal Hill did attack.
Oh, my God, dude. What about that ref? Oh
which ref was it? It was one of the new
Mazzagatti.
Nah, right. So Paul Craig jumps up. Paul Craig now on a 2-fight win streak of Mauricio Hua and Jamal Hill. It's a decent 2-fight win streak as he looks to get higher and higher in the light heavyweight rankings. And I think he will. I like Paul Craig.
Yeah, I like Paul Craig too.
He's not great standing.
I picked him to win.
He's not great standing once he goes against a guy who's a little bit younger, who has some wrestling prowess.
Knockout power. He don't have that chin.
No, he doesn't. Like Jamal Hill didn't know what to do. Paul Craig let him take him down, trapped an arm right away, and Jamal Hill just tried to get up, in which gave Paul Craig every opportunity to put him in an armbar, so it was perfect timing. But Paul Craig has a lot more to give. I think he's only 34 years old. I think he'll be back. I think he'll have a good top 15 ranked fight. Let's check out the rankings right now. I would like to see Paul Craig fight.
He's already in the. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see Paul Craig fight like a Jimmy Crute maybe, or I would love to see him fight Johnny Walker, but Johnny Walker's absence is weird. You know who Johnny Walker is?
No.
Johnny Walker was proclaimed as the future of the heavyweight division. Dude is 6'4", 205, kickboxer. He was knocking dudes out left and right. I can't remember who stopped him, but Johnny Walker
stopped?
He got knocked out, and then I think he had another fight after that, and then he's been taking a hiatus lately.
That would be a great matchup for Paul Craig, you know? He could shoot up in the
he beat Ryan Spann September of last year. Oh, he lost to Corey Anderson. That was the first person that beat him. Corey Anderson put a fucking beat down on him.
Unanimous decision, 37-45.
Yeah, that was Nikita Krylov.
3 takedowns. See?
Which shows you what a wrestler does against Johnny Walker. Well, that's
Paul Craig on the
that's one of the reasons that Walker's out. But you look at this guy. He's 6'6" with an 82-inch reach. That's John Jones numbers-esque.
Yeah. All right,
light heavyweight.
I just want to point out something. The fight that he just won, though, the guy got 2 takedowns on him. He knocked him down twice in a minute and 2:43. So as soon as I'm guessing it went standing, he fucked him up.
Right.
So, but yeah.
This is just speculation because we have no idea who they're going to fight, and it's too early for Paul Craig to be fighting again. But I like Paul Craig's chances to get a top 10 fight.
Paul Craig versus Magomed Ankalaev. Paul Craig already beat him. That is a fight.
That was years ago, right?
That was a fight, dude. I got Magomed.
All right. Carrying on with UFC 263, Bilal Muhammad and Damian Maia had, I guess the most boring fight of the night. Bilal Muhammad didn't dominate per se, but he played so careful.
Dominated him.
He fought so carefully that Damian Maia, I think Maia was like, 1 for 14 on takedowns? 2 for 14, something like that.
It was at the point where it's like, dude, try something else.
Right.
Stop going for the single leg. Go for something else. Like, go for the double. Try and get that double leg underhook in.
Yeah.
Try and bring him into the clinch and get that underhook on his
Muhammad's takedown defense was spectacular. His balance.
It was good.
Maia had a single leg one time where he brought his leg up above Maia's shoulder, and Muhammad was able to balance on one leg and carry it to the cage so he could get some more balance.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, it is. Muhammad obviously had that one fight against Leon Edwards that it was a draw, and then since then, people kind of just look at him as some mid-carder.
Yeah, it's crazy that he didn't stop him, though, because he hurt him a lot.
Yeah, but Muhammad was just playing. That was his game plan, was to survive, because he knew that if the fight carried on 3 rounds, he was going to be able to beat Damian Maia standing, which he did pretty clearly.
Oh, yeah, well, he kept it standing.
Right.
I still think he has the power.
No. I think I would like to see him have a good matchup against a younger wrestler, though, because that would really test his takedown defense. So, like, right now, he's 9th in the welterweight. If he could fight Jeff Neal or a Neil Magny, I honestly think those would be tough matchups for him.
Yeah, he don't deserve, a big name like Jorge.
The welterweight, Michael Chiesa's 6th, in Masvidal 7.
Jorge versus Bilal Muhammad. Who wins?
I want to see Jorge versus Leon Edwards. That's what I want to see.
I really do want to see that, bro.
Speaking of Leon Edwards, he also fought UFC 263. I'm trying to think of what.
Okay, never mind. No, I was making sure that StreamYard didn't crash. Yeah, sorry. Continue.
So Leon Edwards fought Nate Diaz in one of the most anticipated fights of the night.
That was a good segue into that.
And Leon Edwards dominated the first 4 rounds. Nate Diaz was a bloody mess from rounds 2 through 5. Leon Edwards dominated the 24 minutes of that fight.
20, yeah.
And then in the last minute, he got rocked.
Like,
and Nate Diaz fucking
pointed at him.
Just pointed.
It was a good photo. Good for a photo.
It was.
But good to go
not
finish him. What the hell are you doing? Attack.
Someone commented on our live stream. By the way, we live stream every UFC pay-per-view. Check it out as we do UFC 264, July 10th. We will be live streaming from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. as we do for every live stream.
Every single
So that's also for UFC 265 on August 9th and UFC 266, which is September 10th, something like that. But we live stream every pay-per-view. Check it out. It's a good time.
Yeah.
We lose some money. We win some money. We talk to fans.
We bets. We have bets. Like, hopefully you guys bet, and then we can sweat out the bets together. It's just like what it is.
Someone commenting on our live stream made a great point. Nate Diaz was just there for the check, and I think that's pretty true.
I don't know, because that was a good opponent for him to jump back really into that division and possibly get another another big ticket fight with
right. But you could tell he wasn't trying his hardest. Nate Diaz was like showing his back to Edwards a bunch, and he was kind of like walking around, like joking around with him.
Yeah, because he was enticing him,
and he was getting his ass kicked.
He
was getting his ass kicked. There was a couple times that Leon Edwards rocked Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is just a tough fucking guy.
Dude, that guy does not go down.
But in the last minute, Nate Diaz absolutely rocked Leon Edwards with a left straight right to the button. And Edwards almost went down. He almost went down, and Nate Diaz kind of flurried on him, but just pushed him against the cage. And in the last minute, obviously Nate Diaz was such a huge underdog that us, along with a lot of other people, would have benefited from Nate Diaz knocking him out in the last minute, but it didn't happen.
That would have been insane.
I saw an Instagram meme. It was Nate Diaz when Leon Edwards gets rocked, and it's a picture of Nate Diaz pointing, and then UFC fans when Leon Edwards gets rocked, and it's like 4 people like pointing at a TV, and then it's gamblers when Leon Edwards gets rocked, and it's just some guy like smashing his TV with a chair. It's pretty adept.
Yeah.
Leon Edwards did win unanimous decision victory. They seemed to be cool afterwards. I guess Nate Diaz told Leon Edwards to fucking name his price and don't let anyone else name it. And Leon Edwards was like, yeah, I feel that. Leon Edwards is number 3 ranked. I don't know if he deserves it still. He put a work
contest and
beat a guy who hasn't fought in a year and a half, no matter how big his name was.
Yeah.
I think that Leon Edwards deserves one more fight. One more fight of a top 5 ranked, and then after that, if he wins, then he should get a title shot. Speaking of welterweight fights upcoming, wasn't there news on Vicente Luque versus Colby Covington?
No, Colby Covington's fighting Kamaru Usman next.
Yeah, that's what Dana had said. But Mark had said something. Mark and Dylan, I'm pretty sure, about Luque getting a fight. And I was trying to find it.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. I didn't see anything about that.
All right, then never mind me.
I think Kamaru Usman doesn't want to take that fight, man. He doesn't want to fight him. He doesn't want to give him the limelight. He says he doesn't want to fight him.
I think that's part of it. I also think that Kamaru Usman has won 3 title fights, if I'm not mistaken, in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
He beat Masvidal twice and Burns. And I believe, so that's actually more like 6-7 months. Is it a year? Is it a
In a
year?
year.
I feel like I'm missing one. That's his last couple fights, right?
Yeah, I think you are missing one. Hang on.
Nope, that was it. In the last year, he has 3-0.
Fought Jorge twice.
That's a fucking record by Kamaru Usman, man.
Kobe,
Oh my god.
Tyron, dude, he hasn't really fought.
No, don't say that.
I mean, Kobe Covington, yeah, but
No,
I mean,
absolutely
Jorge
not.
twice.
Jorge twice, Gilbert Burns, Colby,
Burns, that's a
Tyron
good
Woodley, Dos Anjos, Damian Maya,
Yeah.
Sean Strickland,
Damian Maya,
Leon Edwards.
Leon Edwards, yeah, Leon Edwards.
That's a fucking dude. Kamaru Usman is the best fighter in the UFC right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, until John Jones gets back, at least.
Dude, he's gonna take another year hiatus. I was gonna wait to say that.
Yeah, he is.
It's gonna take another year to bulk up.
Apparently, there's reports right now that he's walking around at 255.
Derek Lewis is the guy, and I'm gonna sprinkle on Derek Lewis, dude.
You mean he's the guy to get the next fight, not the guy?
He is the guy to get the next fight, yeah. And if it and Ngannou should win that fight.
I think, oh man, yeah. A
lot of people are gonna think that, and if a lot of people think he's gonna win probably in the first round because he's a freaking monster.
I'm in favor of Derek Lewis getting a title shot. I think that
I'm in favor too.
as much as I think John Jones should get the next title shot, I think Stipe should get the next. He deserves the next title shot. The trilogy makes sense. Stipe was the former champ. He's only been beaten twice.
Yeah,
in the last 6 years.
Goes, yeah. I think Ngannou wins against Stipe.
I'm not willing to say whether I side left or right on that because I still think Stipe can beat Ngannou. I know Stipe can beat Ngannou. We already did it. Ngannou has obviously gotten much better in wrestling.
But did he get from like the right time in his career, or was he?
Well, there's no doubt that Ngannou's still improving. You know, Ngannou only started doing mixed martial arts like 6-7 years ago, so he's still getting better. And obviously, the power is something we've never seen before.
Yeah,
his wrestling progression from the first fight with Stipe to the second was unbelievable. We saw Ngannou stuff a takedown and then transition to backside mount, land ground and pound, and push him up against the cage and do good clinch work. Like it was. He looked like someone who has been doing wrestling, which obviously he has. But I still think Stipe. I think Stipe is the toughest guy in that division. I think that if he can run around, I think he's also more conditioned than Ngannou, and I think that could play a part. There's reports that Miocic wants to bulk up for their next fight. He came in about 235, 240 for their second fight. And I think he said he wants to be like 255. So that could play into his cardio. But like,
does that matter, man? Does 10 pounds matter?
No, I don't think it does when you're fighting a guy in Ngannou. You're not looking to knock Ngannou out. You're looking to be able to take shots from Ngannou. Yeah.
You couldn't get him down.
Yeah, but he only attempted one takedown. I think if that fight goes 4 rounds, he at least takes him down once.
Yeah.
Which is what Miocic would have to do. This is all speculative, and we have no reports that Stipe's even looking to fight Ngannou again.
But if he did fight him again, I mean, I don't know.
If he did fight him again, I would probably bet on Ngannou. Probably. But
knockout?
Yeah. But I wouldn't. I would really think about it because I think that Stipe is still totally capable of beating Ngannou by a 5-round decision. I really do. I think the longer it goes, the better or the worse Ngannou will get. We saw it with Derek Lewis. You know, and obviously he talked about that the first fight against Miocic hurt his confidence and he didn't do it. He didn't stick to his game plan against Lewis, and that's why he lost. But if you look at the fight, Ngannou was swinging for the fences in the first round, connected once but couldn't connect after that, and then got tired. And then Derek Lewis actually wrestled Ngannou.
Kind of tried to pull Rosen, didn't he go against Rosenstrike? And he did, no.
Ngannou?
Yeah, was it Rosenstrike? And he just fucking rushed him, and I think that's what he was trying to do.
I agree, and then he
kind of got gun shy.
It makes sense because he's the only person in the world that'll fucking do that. Because he knows that one shot will knock someone out, and it has.
How old is he?
Ngannou? 33.
33.
Something like that. I believe he might only be like 30. 34.
Damn.
Turning 35 in 2 months.
Wow.
That's crazy. I didn't think he was that old.
Me too. I thought he was like 32.
But here's the
this
thing.
guy's in a fucking
Here's the thing, man.
peak.
If he wants to continue fighting, dude's never been knocked out. Not a lot of brain damage.
Yeah.
He's a big dude, and he knows that he can finish fights early. He could fight till he's 45.
Yeah.
And he started fighting young, so that's less wear and tear on his body. Or he started fighting old.
Dude, the guy worked in a salt mine, man.
No, I know. But, like...
The guy's a specimen.
Yeah, he is. He's probably
a genetic specimen.
He's probably the biggest genetic freak in the UFC, and I mean that with all praise.
Since Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. And I think he is... Yeah, Brock Lesnar might be more of a genetic freak, but he's right there with him. Right there with him.
Yeah, well, this guy ain't doing steroids. For sure,
right.
Not doing steroids. Like, 100%.
Brock Lesnar wasn't doing steroids.
Guy was taking anything he could. Going on his way to the ring.
Guy was eating a bowl of steroids without any milk.
Dude, he was doing something.
All right, so back on the 263. Adesanya Vettori. It was
a good fight.
It was a good fight. It was one of the most boring fights I've ever seen from Adesanya. Obviously not as boring as the Adesanya Romero fight. Yeah. Obviously. But I thought that there was not a lot of action. We saw Vettori get some good takedowns.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a couple questions when you're ready.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think Vettori won at least 2 rounds? Do you think was a unanimous?
It was a unanimous 49-46 decision from the judges.
Mm-hmm.
I had it scored 48-47 for Adesanya. The first round, I believe Vettori got a takedown, and Adesanya didn't have much more strikes, so I gave that to Vettori. Yeah. And then I believe the third or the fourth round, Vettori had 1 or 2 takedowns and some good ground and pound, so I gave him another round. Mm-hmm. So I think Vettori in the rounds, and I think he got 1 more takedown in a different round, but Adesanya pelted him.
And he got up quick, dude, with those takedowns, and he also reversed into mount.
He did. Adesanya
had some great reverses.
He did, and I think, and I was saying that leading up to the fight, that Adesanya definitely has a weakness on the ground, but don't let his inability to escape Blachowicz affect how he's going to try to escape Vettori.
It's purple belt.
Because the difference in weight when they were fighting, Blachowicz versus Adesanya and Vettori versus Adesanya, is a good 30 pounds. Like, Blachowicz was 225 when they fought, and Vettori was like 195, maybe 200.
Yeah. Yeah, I think his takedown defense was surprisingly good.
It was very good.
Even though he got taken down. That don't matter when you reverse quickly.
And there was a couple moments where Adesanya had both of his legs wrapped by Vettori. And Adesanya was just like putting one hand on the ground.
Yeah.
And it didn't last that long. It didn't last that long, but just that shows you the takedown defense Adesanya has. And we knew that.
Good balance. And that's from Muay Thai too. He has a good understanding of balance.
What's another question? You said you had a couple questions. Adesanya Vettori. I have a question for you.
Are you surprised that it went to decision?
No, I thought it was going to go to decision.
Yeah. I thought he would knock him out, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought if it was a finish, it was Vettori tapping out Adesanya.
Yeah,
I didn't think I knew Vittori's a tough dude, and I knew that Vettori has cardio for days.
Leg kicks that he absorbed.
Yeah, Adesanya's leg kicks were nasty. And to Vittori's credit, he took them all, and he didn't even switch stances, and he was going as hard in round 5 as he was in round 1.
If you didn't watch the fight, people watching. If you didn't watch the fight, and we did. His leg kicks sound like a whip, like an Indiana Jones whip. Mm-hmm.
There was one
the
leg
fact
kick
that he took 20 of them.
I think he took 35.
Yeah, I was just saying above 20.
Right.
It's mind-boggling.
And there was one in the 3rd round that he actually knocked Vettori off his feet. I think it was a balance issue, but he definitely fell after a leg kick.
Yeah. Very, very, very good fight.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a closer representation to Muhammad Ali's head movement?
Ooh,
in that one. I can't remember
that
who it was
insane.
against, but Muhammad Ali was in the corner of the ring, and he was just dodging all the punches, and it was like 15 punches in a row, and then he kind of got a shake after. Have you ever seen something closer to that than what Adesanya did to Vettori?
I mean, that Matrix shit.
Like Floyd Mayweather has done it a couple times.
Yeah. But it was close to the Floyd. It wasn't. I would not put it where
I would say.
I would not put it to Muhammad Ali.
I wouldn't either. But I would say Vettori attempted 8 to 10 punches in the span of 3 seconds or less. And he
I would say like 5 seconds. And it was less than 5 seconds. He landed one.
He landed one. And it was the second to last punch he threw, I think.
Yeah.
And Adesanya, oh my God, Adesanya's head movement.
That. His head movement was ridiculous.
Had talked about it the whole fight because I was getting nervous during the fight because he just kept trying to duck out of the way and use his head. And I was like, dude, you're going to get caught. You're going to get caught. And he never did.
Yeah, that's that Muay Thai instinct, dude.
That's just practice in boxing. That's what that is. That is just with the speed bag and trying to move your head. That's all that is.
Yeah. I don't know. I credit it to a lot of Muay Thai. Like, what did the guys freaking like 70 and what? You know,
well, it's kickboxing.
Kickboxing, yeah. I think that definitely plays an effect because you're looking for those kicks. Like you're always moving, like the feints. And, you know, I think, I one of the best displays of defense he's had yet. I think in his career. Especially off of a loss that he just had with Blachowicz when he lost on the ground. I think this is a great bounce back. And he's looking invincible again.
We say that now.
He's looking invincible.
We all know that his next fight is Robert Whittaker.
I still got Adesanya, dude. I really don't. I'm not going to change my opinion. I think the length of Adesanya versus Whittaker is a big difference. Adesanya's legs. His legs are so much bigger. It kind of like defeats the purpose of Robert Whittaker's legs.
Well, Robert Whittaker's not a big leg kicker.
Yeah, but he has it in his arsenal. He has it. So I think that kind of defeats he don't really need to worry about leg kicks.
So Robert Whittaker is taller than Vettori, but has less of a reach. So there'll be a bigger reach advantage between Adesanya and Whittaker. It's a 7-inch reach advantage against Whittaker, where it was a 6-inch reach advantage against Vettori.
Yeah, but
although the reach didn't seem to matter too much. I mean, the head movement was definitely part of that, but Vettori was able to get in close to Adesanya. Adesanya was just able to move his head out of the way.
Yeah, I want to see how Robert Whittaker stands when he fights because he could like lose a couple inches, like if he's like going down with it, like. Especially if he's looking for a takedown. He is a black belt, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
Australia.
I think the fight Whittaker and Adesanya does not go to the ground.
No.
I think Whittaker just stands up with them the whole time.
Yeah, and who's the best guy?
Adesanya is
no one wants to stand up with Kamaru Usman, Ngannou, and Israel Adesanya. No one wants to stand up with those three.
And I would argue out of those three...
All Nigerian, by the way.
Adesanya, Ngannou's from Cameroon.
Cameroon, yeah.
I would argue that Adesanya is the best striker out of all three of them.
Yeah.
Ngannou's the hardest striker. Usman might have the best jab, but Usman's more well-rounded, and Ngannou has the power. Adesanya, technically... is probably the best striker in the UFC.
Maybe
right now.
more well-rounded. I don't know.
Well-rounded
so
for sure. Kamaru Usman's more well-rounded. But like when I talk about precision boxing, pure precision boxing in the UFC.
Yeah.
You got Conor.
Yes.
You got Adesanya.
Yes. Kamaru Usman. Well, Kamaru Usman.
I wouldn't say
Usman. No, I wouldn't say Usman. I wouldn't say Usman either. He hasn't really gotten a lot of knockouts.
Right.
But he just did start training with Trevor Whitman. Big difference.
It is.
Big difference. But continue. Who else?
If I'm looking at the best boxers in the UFC.
Can you put heavyweights up there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Cormier was up there. No, actually, no, he wasn't, because he was a wrestler who had some knockouts. So I actually wouldn't put Cormier at all. I can't think of anyone who's on Adesanya and prime Conor's level. And I think Adesanya is on prime Conor's level with his technicality and his precision. especially when you
Shevchenko up there right now. Shevchenko.
The combinations that Adesanya was able to fucking throw, were ridiculous. He would throw 3-4 strikes, and 3 of them would land, and they'd come from all different angles. Like, how do you defend that? How do you defend left hook, right overhand, left uppercut, and a right jab to the body? You can't. You might be able to defend 2 or maybe even 3, but you're still going to get hit once, at least.
UFC's at its freaking tippity top right now, like for entertainment wise.
So we have the UFC rankings up right now. Middleweight rankings for the contenders. We have Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa, Jared Cannonier, Marvin Vettori, Derek Brunson, Jack Hermanson, Darren Till.
Darren Till needs to fight.
Of those guys, Darren Till's fighting Derek Brunson on August 14th.
Yes.
Of those 7 guys, who is most likely to beat Adesanya?
Out of those 7 guys,
I would say Robert Whittaker.
Gastelum.
I would say Robert Whittaker, or
I would say Whittaker,
Jack Hermanson.
Or I would say,
I think Robert Whittaker is the most well-rounded fighter in that entire division.
Yeah, Robert Whittaker, and I would go maybe Jared Cannonier.
When I think of, you need to have some sort of great advantage over Adesanya to beat him.
Yeah,
Blachowicz had the weight and evidently the wrestling.
Jack Hermanson.
I'm looking at these guys and I'm thinking to myself, well, we just saw Marvin Vettori, who is probably the second best wrestler in that division. I would say behind Hermanson and maybe tied with Gastelum.
Edmund Shabazian.
No way.
Chris Weidman.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin Holland, dude, number 14.
Yep.
That would be a great fight.
That what you need to be Adesanya is speed. I think you need to be able to have Kevin Holland. Does he have the speed?
Training with Trevor Whitman.
Does he have the speed?
One of Trevor Whitman's training.
I love a potential matchup between Holland and Adesanya because I think that they are.
Scratch Cannonier. I'm putting Kevin Holland instead of Cannonier.
Kevin Holland just needs another year or 2.
Yep.
After a year or 2.
So,
because.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I would say Holland is at a disadvantage even more than Adesanya when they fight a good wrestler. Because Holland's wrestling, I think, or takedown defense is even worse than Adesanya's.
Yeah, but Adesanya's not worried about going for takedowns.
Right. So if they were to fight each other, it'd be standing the whole time. Holland has the same reach. It's only like a 1-inch reach advantage for Adesanya. I looked this up before the fight. I can't remember the exact statistic.
It's the leg kicks, though.
I can't remember the exact statistic, but it was like, besides Blachowicz, Adesanya's last 6 fights have all had a reach advantage for Adesanya by 4 inches or more.
Yeah, but
that's crazy. And he had a 1-inch reach advantage against Blachowicz. I don't think Adesanya's ever fought someone where he didn't have a reach advantage.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah. And Kevin Holland be able to bridge that gap.
Too. Kevin Holland's got a long way. Kevin Holland and him is a matchup, man.
Well, he's 6'4". That's what's so crazy. Kevin Holland, I believe, is like 6'2".
6 feet, 6'1".
But he has like 84-inch reach, which is ridiculous, or 83. He might have
his arms were dragging on the ground when he was in high school, walking down the hallway.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. You're watching MMA Complete Podcast, brought to you by Naked Sports Fans Only Sports. Check out nakedsports.com for Yard Olympic information and for other information regarding Naked Sports. We post articles every day, and we do other podcasts, so check that out. Also, go follow us at Twitter, @complete_MMA, and go follow or subscribe to our YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast.
This fight night coming up too, so
yeah, go ahead. You know more than I do.
Yeah. Boom, we're live. Well, we're talking about Conor Poirier right now. So Conor Poirier,
July
We're gonna
10th.
beat this bush down
Trilogy.
to the roots.
Trilogy fight, Conor Poirier, headlining UFC 264. Other really good fights on the card, but right now we're talking about McGregor Poirier.
Yeah.
So this is good because we have opposing. I mean, I know you're not sold on McGregor. You kind of just.
What do you mean?
Are you sold on McGregor?
I'm kind of sold.
Right. You're not like 100%.
Yeah.
I'm 100% on Poirier.
Yeah, that's weird.
I am sure that Poirier is going to win.
How? I do not think the light kicks are going to come into effect this one.
I think it will. I think that
maybe in the second round.
I think that the only way Conor wins is by knockout. I think that Poirier can win by knockout, submission, or decision. That's why I think Poirier will win. I think that Poirier is much better on the ground, and I will give you that Conor has great takedown defense. The biggest reason that I think
that's what's going to happen in this fight.
The biggest reason I think Poirier is going to win is what everybody will say, is that Conor's not hungry anymore. He's out of his prime. He's nowhere where he was when he was double champ. You know, he got the money. He doesn't care anymore. He pulled up to the last fight on a fucking 70-foot yacht. Like, he doesn't give a shit. He's in it for the money. Poirier is too, or Poirier would be fighting for the title. We know that.
Yep. Agreed.
But
everyone knows
Poirier is, in my opinion, the best lightweight in the world, including Charles Oliveira.
He's not fast in his striking. Poor striking. Really bad striking. Dustin Poirier.
He doesn't have bad striking.
Not on the level of Conor. Still, even out of Conor's prime. I think Conor has to change his style up. And in the first round, I think his style will be changed, but it's when he gets tired. Will it maintain the same strategy? That's when I think, like in the second, third round, he goes back to that boxing stance and Poirier can get him down. Does it make it out of the first round though? I don't know. And I think Conor could knock him out. Not saying first round, but I think the best chance for him is in the first round. I think he'll be more on his feet. He'll be more leg kicks from Conor.
That brings up
and we didn't even talk about leg kicks leading up to Poirier McGregor.
I think I talked about it.
We talked about it in Dollar General.
I thought McGregor would get some leg kicks.
We talked about it in Dollar when we were pulling out of Dollar General like a half an hour before the card started. So I mean, I don't know. I think McGregor, great champions adjust. And I think he is a great champion, and I think he will win. And I'm not convinced that Poirier's striking is going to change this fight at all. I do not think he gets him to the ground, and I think he does get him to the ground, but Conor can get up.
I think if you look at Dustin Poirier's record more closely, you will come to agree with me. Because of his last 3 losses, he got knocked out by Conor in 2014. He got knocked out by Michael Johnson in 2016. And he got
Bobby Green.
And he got submitted by Khabib in 2019. Those are his only 3 losses in the last 7.5 years.
He did win against Justin Gaethje, which is surprising.
He beat
surprising.
Diego Ferreira, Jim Miller, Anthony Pettis, Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez, Max Holloway, Dan Hooker, and Conor.
Yeah, the Max Holloway's
But
Max Holloway
think
going
about
up in a
this.
different weight
But
division,
think about this. Since September of 2016, by the time the fight will come around, that's almost a full 5 years where he's only lost to Khabib.
Yeah, I mean,
when he first fought Conor, it was in 2014, so that was 7 years ago. He would have been 25. And now he's 32.
It's crazy that he's plus 100, but man,
that's because people
gotta
bet
go
on
McGregor, man. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where you're gonna have to watch the lead up of the fight. How's Conor looking? Like, is it?
I'll give Conor credit.
reports
Conor
out?
hasn't been saying shit, which means I'm pretty sure he's been training his ass off. I would not be surprised.
There's a lot on the line for him right now. There's a lot of pride in this fight.
There is a lot of pride.
Who loses more? If Poirier loses, does he lose more, or does Conor
loses more?
I think Conor's more hungry. I think it's about hungriness.
But we just talked about Poirier only lost once to Khabib in the last 5 years. Whereas if you look at Connor's lost 3 times in the last 5 years.
Yeah, but I'm not
to
gonna,
Khabib, but also to Nate Diaz and Poirier.
Yeah, Nate Diaz and Poirier, which he beat Nate Diaz after. So I mean, it's really the same thing, bro. It's really only Khabib. I mean,
Connor's also, I would say Poirier has better wins than Connor.
I guess so.
It all-
But I mean, I think it's really gonna come down to the striking and leg kicks again, man. Not in Poirier's favor. I think in Connor's favor.
Do you think that Connor can still knock Poirier out in rounds 2 and 3?
Third round.
It's going to be a 5-round fight. It's the main event.
Not third,
I would say in the
third.
second.
It don't have to be the main. Yeah, it has to be the main event trilogy. But it's
Oh, it is the main event.
Yeah,
It's already booked for 5 rounds.
Yeah, it has to be the main event. 3. Yeah, I think he can do it in the third. I think he can do it in the third.
I don't think he can do it in the third. I think it has to be in the first 2 rounds.
I think he could. I think he could hit him with the 3-piece and a soda.
There was one moment in the first fight where Connor tagged Poirier and he definitely rocked him a little bit. I'll give him that. But Connor landed 30 punches in the first fight and he only rocked Poirier kind of once. That's a big part, I think.
Yeah. First fight back in the MMA.
Here's another thing.
One more time.
Here's another thing. Joe Rogan talked about this after. In Poirier went on Joe Rogan after the second fight, and they talked about it. And Joe Rogan made a great point. Connor
was
obviously...
it after or was it before?
Yeah, it was after. Connor obviously had a period of time where he left the UFC and he only competed once in like 3 years. And he went to boxing and he was doing other stuff, and he obviously became this mogul. During that time is when the calf kick became prominent. During 2016 to 2018, or 2017 to 2018, that's when calf kick really started getting used.
Yeah.
And that's when Connor was out of the game.
Yeah.
This was the first fight that Connor really felt calf kicks. It was the first time. Cerrone didn't do anything to Connor. Yeah. Khabib might have hit 1 or 2, but that's not Khabib's game plan. And before that, he didn't fight anybody when this was really a big thing. So
how's Poirier going to feel like when he gets his leg kicked?
He's going to feel more used to it. And here's the other thing. Dustin Poirier can switch up his stance. Connor has never attempted to go orthodox. He's a southpaw true and true.
I don't know. I'd have to look up.
You can look it up, but I'm telling you, he doesn't switch his stance at all. He's a southpaw.
Yeah, well.
So that right leg is forward at least 95% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, well. Yeah, I think a good percentage of the time, the fighter that loses the first fight always wins the second fight. A good percentage of the time. The third fight, it's usually the guy that won the first fight. So, I mean, I do think...
That's... Stipe and Cormier didn't.
Statistically...
St. Pierre and Hughes didn't. St. Pierre and Penn didn't. Trying to think of the trilogies that we've seen. I think the third fight's up for grabs. I think you're right about usually in trilogies. Obviously, when you get to the trilogy, you know that it's 1-1. But I think usually in a rematch, the second guy wins, unless you're John Jones.
I just don't see what Poirier thinks he can do differently, other than take him down. But like. I don't know. I
also don't think Poirier has to do anything.
But I ain't gonna bet the deed on Connor, dude. I ain't gonna put Connor on parlays. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna do that.
I'm gonna put Poirier on parlays for sure. Speaking of parlays, if you want to know what other fights, you can parlay at UFC 264. It's a pretty good card.
Yeah,
Co-main event.
I will be making parlays. So
co-main event, you got Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Oh.
That's a very good fight.
I thought we were talking about the fight night. Never mind.
Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson is a very good fight. I think that Gilbert Burns wins.
I like Gilbert Burns as well.
I think Gilbert Burns' jiu-jitsu is much better than Stephen Thompson's, and Stephen Thompson will have the reach advantage, which will help him with takedown defense, but if Burns can get him down, he also has the power Burns does to be able to finish the fight on the ground with ground and pound.
Yeah.
I think the fight gets stopped in the first or the second round by ground and pound by Burns.
Okay.
Been thinking about this a lot.
I like Gilbert Burns. Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy.
I got Tai Tuivasa.
I like Tai Tuivasa. Greg Hardy, I mean, NFL player, main card.
I think he's reached his ceiling. And it's
he's
a
reached
good
his ceiling. And Tai Tuivasa's good, man.
He is. He's been around for a while, too.
Yeah, coming off a knockout win versus Stefan Struve. I think Tai Tuivasa, ride the wave, buddy, as long as you can. This is Greg Hardy, for a guy that's not really ranked. Is he ranked?
Yeah. No.
All right. Well,
No,
anyway, people know his name.
Mm-hmm.
They know his name. So, yeah, I think Tai Tuivasa, if he knocks him out or does something impressive, could really not shoot him up, but like definitely put more eyes on him.
We also have Irina Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. That's a pretty good women's flyweight bout. Bantamweight, excuse me. Obviously, the bantamweight division has a huge asterisk because we know no one can beat Amanda Nunes. But Aldana, I believe, is... Oh, is she not? Oh, this is pound for pound. One of them is ranked. Kunitskaya is 5th ranked. Aldana's 4th ranked. So this could be a number one contender for Amanda Nunes, who Amanda Nunes, by the way, on August 9th, will be fighting, I believe, Juliana Pena for the women's bantamweight title. So Aldana Kunitskaya could be a number one contendership. And we also have Sean O'Malley versus Luis Smolka. Luis Smolka, a good fighter for Sean O'Malley to fight because Smolka is getting a little bit older. He's not older, but he's just more experienced. He's been knocked out a couple times.
Yeah.
And I think it's a veteran that O'Malley can show that he's better than a veteran, but it's not a great veteran. Smolka's never really, I think he was ranked years ago, but after that, he hasn't really been up there.
Yeah. I like Sean O'Malley in this fight.
Yeah, me too.
I think Sean O'Malley's going to win. Not easily because of that Marlon Vera. You never know what's going to happen, but I think he does maybe win by decision.
And then I think there's one or two more. Nico Price versus Michael Pereira. Kevin Lee versus Sean Brady. Carlos Condit versus Max Griffin. So UFC 264 has a lot of great fights. Make sure you tune in to MMA Complete Podcast live reactions for UFC 264 on July 10th from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. And Yard Olympics for Naked Sports will be going on the same day, so it's going to be a busy day for us. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a great day. Do you want to finish off by talking about this fight night?
Yeah, we can finish this off. You might know. You remember Bruno Silva? You remember him? You might know him.
I know the name.
Know the name?
I know the name.
Okay, Ricky Glenn, Joaquin Silva. Ricky Glenn hasn't been fighting for, I don't know, like 2.5 years maybe. Joe Rogan's a big fan of this dude. Big fan. Crazy knockout finishes, crazy knockout power. I like him in this fight. I like him. I wouldn't say knockout, but I would definitely pick him to win. And he's the underdog, so you can get your money's worth out of him. Yeah, because last fight's in 2018 versus who?
Kevin Aguilar.
Kevin Aguilar. Yeah. So I think he couple injuries set him back. He had a hip replacement, I think. A hip replacement, titanium hip. So we'll see how that goes. Where am I at?
Yeah, you just gotta go back. The back.
Boom. I hit it. I did. Boom. Oh, we didn't talk about Olenek. Who do you think's gonna win that?
I don't know Sergey Spivak.
Neither do I.
I know Olenek is a great wrestler and jiu-jitsu artist.
43 going up against 26.
Well, I think Spivak's gonna win.
Olenek does have a 2-inch reach advantage.
Yeah. Holy shit, it would
I
be
know
60 wins.
I know Olenek is the huge underdog in this fight.
Olenek's, yeah. Olenek is the underdog.
Marlon Chito Vera is fighting Davey Grant. Marlon Vera has been fighting nothing but nobody since he beat Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Oh, except actually he did fight Jose Aldo.
no.
He did fight Jose Aldo. That's right.
Yeah.
He got stomped by Jose Aldo.
Yeah. So do you think he wins this fight after coming off a loss?
Dude, I have no idea who Davey Grant
former
is.
champion?
Davey Grant's 35, and Marlon Vera has an 1.5-inch reach advantage.
Same height.
Davey Grant just beat Jonathan Martinez. That's a good win. Martin Day. So he's on at least a 3-fight win streak.
Yeah.
He's 35 years old.
Marlon Vera is the favorite.
Yeah. I would give it to Marlon Vera, but I don't know enough about Davey Grant.
Davey Grant's very interesting. The guy is fucking jacked, bro. The guy is jacked.
And then Chan Sung Jung versus Dan Ige. I'm going to go Dan Ige.
I'm going to go Dan Ige as well. I think Chan Sung Jung.
I'm gonna go Chan Sung Jung. Chan Sung Jung had a tough opponent in his last fight. Brian Ortega meant business, and he came in there prepared. And I don't think Dan Ige. I think this is Dan Ige's biggest fight. And as long as Chan Sung Jung comes in with the preparation he did, I think it's going to be a very good fight. I think it goes to decision. I definitely would take the over in this fight.
Yeah, I just don't like Chan Sung Jung's record going by decision. Dan Ige, I think, has knockout power versus him. I think Dan Ige takes him to the ground. Dan Ige is a very good wrestler. 29 going up against 34, not really a big difference. Chan Sung Jung with an inch reach. Yeah, I like Dan Ige by decision. What else do we got here? There was one more that I liked. Josh Parson heavyweight. I think he beats Raquel Martinez. So Josh Parson, like him a lot. I think he knocks him out. This guy Martinez, not good footwork, very slow, and Josh Parson. Do you see that?
No.
7-inch reach advantage. 7-inch reach advantage in heavyweight. I think he gets him. Wow. I think this is a knockout.
But just take a second to realize.
Look at the height. Look at the height difference. So Josh Parson, I'm pretty sure he's a heavy.
That's Parisian, by the way.
Whatever.
Is he part of the Parisian family? Oh shit. Roque Martin, 5'8", 250 pounds. That is a big dude.
Yeah, look at. I mean, the numbers are close. I mean, Josh Parisian is the favorite, but not by a lot. I bet that goes hella up closer to the fight. Way up.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's pretty much all I got. I mean, Matt Brown versus Diego Lima. I mean, Diego Lima's like freaking old.
If Matt Brown wins, so is Matt Brown. If Matt Brown wins,
hang on, go. Maybe I had it wrong. Go to Matt Brown. Yeah, Matt Brown's old. Diego Lima's 32.
If Matt Brown wins, he will tie Donald Cerrone for most wins in UFC history, or he will become first. One of those. I believe he has 24 or 23 wins right now.
I like Diego Lima, but I ain't going to choose him to win.
Right. All right, so that's going to do it for MMA Complete Podcast for today, June 17th. Special shout-out to Mark Tosi and Dylan Furtado, who weren't able to make it today. Might be here next week.
Yeah, Mike Belanger, too.
Shout out Mike Belanger. Mike Belanger is the man for hosting the podcast last week. He said he wants to do it again sometime.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was a good time.
Okay,
playing beer pong and shit.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you check out nakedsports.com. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at @complete_MMA and check out our YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast. We do podcasts every Thursday night at 8 p.m.
And we're going to start tweeting our bets out on our Twitter. So check that out. That's what we're going to start doing. And that's going to be our Bet the Deed. And come sweat out our picks with us.
Yeah.
That's the whole point, really, of the live stream.
Every Thursday night at 8 p.m. And then come check out every UFC pay-per-view live reactions. So July 10th from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. As we do for all the pay-per-views. Yeah. If you go check out our YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast, YouTube page, you will be able to see our live reactions from all the other pay-per-views. You can see we have a good time. If you check out the live reactions from UFC 263 on June 12th, go to about 4 hours and 15 minutes, and it's pretty funny. Mark's the man. Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz ending was crazy. Go check that out on our YouTube page.
My
thank
God,
everybody
Mark's
for tuning in. We will be back next Thursday for our podcast right before Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. So we didn't get into that fight, but that is a great fight that's happening 2 weeks from now that we will be talking about next week. So
who do you like?
We'll save it for next podcast.
Cyril Gane.
So come check out the podcast next week, every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Thank everybody for tuning in. I'm out of here. I'm tired. So later.